Coffee processing has many stages.
Here we have displayed that we hand pick red cherries. We don't stripe, we hand pick red cherries. After we hand pick the coffee, we brought them to the central place where we turn red cherries into parchment. And this is done still in Kikobero, at Kikobero wash station. The cherries are brought from the garden to the wet mill. The parchment is brought from Kikobero wet mill to the milling, where we turn the parchment into grain by milling and peeling off the husks. And this is graded green. Then when we finish grading, we take it to Makerere Agriculture Institute in Kabanyoro for roasting and grinding and packing. And now there, your coffee is ready for the cup.
For farmers out there, how does one qualify to bring their produce here for value addition? We meet Mr. Ansadu Edmond, a food technologist at Chured, to throw more light on what is required.
We receive entrepreneurs through, we normally have an annual innovation challenge where we have a competition across the country for entrepreneurs and various value chains. They submit in their ideas, and we normally have judges from the public, and they evaluate these ideas, and then they are selected and they are enrolled into incubation. But we also have walk-ins and referrals, so entrepreneurs are free to come in and supported here at the incubator. We support, actually we work more with the youth. Most of our support is over 70% youth, but we also work with the farmers, especially in coffee and also fruits and vegetables.
There is so much to learn about this darkly colored, bitter and slightly acidic beverage with a great aroma. Okech helps us understand the cupping and how to tell the different aromas of coffee.
These charts help us during cupping our coffee. Like if I'm talking about cupping is the tasting of coffee to know the different flavors, the taste, the body. When we taste our coffee, like if we chew like this, there's a scent that comes, and that scent, it is here. There's nutty, there's lemon, there's orange, there's grape nut, there's fruity. When the coffee tastes like soybeans or granite, that coffee is nutty. So this one, as I can smell, I feel the chocolate, dark chocolate. So that is called, it's also chocolate. As you can see from here, there's this. So there's a coffee which tastes fruity, like jackfruit, like orange. Every coffee has its own taste, or depending on the different regions. Like coffee from Bali, it is fruity because of the high temperature. It is in the hill, yeah, it tastes fruity. So the coffee which is nutty, those are the coffee which are in the lowlands like Robustas. That's where you feel the nutty press. Yes, Masaka, lowlands. The coffee which is in highland is fruity. Those people like doing washed coffee. They wash their coffee like this gentleman used to wash his coffee. Washed coffee is a coffee which you harvest it. After harvesting, you sort it. After sorting it, you put it into water or anything. You ferment it like for 24 hours or 48, depending on where you are. So if the coffee is over fermented, there's that scent which it brings. And that tastes, that scent is not good. So it's recommendable that you should not over ferment your coffee. The taste will come out badly. So this fermented coffee tastes like wine. Now there's coffee which tastes like green vegetable. like green vegetable. That coffee is the coffee which is, that tree is very old. So it is recommendable for you that if you have an old tree of the coffee, you need either to slash it and grow up again, or you uproot it and plant a new one, because your coffee is going to taste like a vegetable, which is not good. There's burnt coffee. Burnt coffee, this tastes bitter, especially when you over roast your coffee. Somebody may say, I want dark roast. And dark roast does not mean that you have to burn the coffee. There's a stage where you reach and you release it before it got burnt, because that one tastes bitter. It has a lot of smoke in it because of over roasting. So that is burnt coffee. As I told you, look up the coffee. You smell, you taste it. Like for you can smell this and you tell me how it is smelling.
Despite the unbeatable quality of this coffee, Martin still found it hard to penetrate the international, let alone local market.
Every time when I first heard about coffee market and read of these things and see things of stories, free trade and doing trade on every platform and internationally, you may think they mean what they say. Actually, it is tougher in practice. When I first saw, I identified the market in the UK, and I talked to very serious buyers, and they liked the coffee. But what is bad about it is bad competition. What is bad is about bad competition. Most especially the big boys in the industry. They don't look at us locals as people who can own the product, really. But I would like to say, I believe in the ideology bottom up. I don't believe in the ideology top bottom, because for me and Kikobero to succeed, it is because of Kikobero farmers, who are the primary processors and the producers of the cup of excellence we have. Now, because we produce a cup of excellence, the people who buy our cup want to own the production. I think that is where the challenge is. We should, if I had the opportunity to discuss matters with the policymakers, I would clearly like to see that producers and buyers or traders have demarcations. That producers remain producers and the traders remain traders.
His ideology of bottom-up kept him going, aiming at producing excellence. Because of his very good quality coffee that originates from the beautiful soils of the mountain, Martin still has qualitative market across the world.
We've sold our coffee to Germany. This year, we sold our coffee to Czech Republic, and our market is continuing to grow. We are in discussions with South Africa, and the biggest and the most exciting is the Singapore market. I have just signed a contract with Singapore, and they are signing a contract of taking our finished coffee, roasted coffee, which is a fundamental thing to us. We signed a contract in 2020, but we failed due to interferences of the pandemic. But they came back and said, we are interested in your coffee, we like it, we can't find it anywhere else. And we signed again 2021, but again we failed to fulfill it. Yet they came back at 2022 and we signed again, and now we are working on that.
Asked about the local market, Martin was quick to mention that there is still a bit of it.
The local market is more interesting. Many people, we are trying to educate the local market. I think the task we have is to educate the local market, like we've been doing, to the farmers to produce, to know their quality of coffee and to produce it. Now, farmers know exactly what they produce and they are very much interested in it. Now, we are going to consumers in the local market. They believe that things imported are better. And that is the misguidance they have. We need to work on telling them that actually the people who are importing coffee to us are fighting to take our pure coffee. The coffee I pack as Kikobero is pure and the highest grade. But my undergrade, I sell them to people who put it into soluble coffee and bring back. The biggest challenge is that they do not know what we have. But as Rosie, you begin to explain things to people, I think they begin to understand the power of the real coffee we have. Now, you've asked me where we are selling our coffee. Our coffee is in supermarkets. Our coffee is sold in coffee shops, and also we've just been we are finalizing. We are in the final stages with Total, and we intend to put our coffee in every Total shop in the country. The people came from Czech Republic to buy coffee from me, and they wanted more than what they took, but I didn't have coffee. I gave them only 120 bags, but they would have taken 320, which is an entire container. I had people from New York wanted a container of coffee I did not have. But if I, for example, this season, I want to prepare 5 containers of coffee, which each container is 19,200 kilograms, which translates to 320 bags. Now, I do not have the money to produce that coffee, but that's what I want.
Asked on whether Martin was looking at working with fellow farmers within the Bugisu region to produce more coffee so as to be able to satisfy the market, he is affirmative.
No. What I am doing, we do specialty coffee of single origin. We do coffee from a particular area. So that's why we have the consistency. What I would like to do in the region is I would like to show other coffee processors, producers, the method of the importance of single origin, so that you get the coffee, you give it a brand and it becomes that particular. That is what I would like to do. Replicate the particular work what we're doing to other regions, that they produce the coffee from that particular area, the people of the area owns the coffee and passionately produce the best cup out of it.
Coffee holds an important position in Uganda's cash crops, if not the best export we have, a legit seed of gold.
When we talk about coffee, we need to talk about money, we need to talk about stages. The first thing is that the coffee, the primary coffee, the cherries. My farmers in Masira sub-county are the highest paid farmers of cherries in the country. Last season, our farmers closed a kilo of those cherries at 2,500. That is history. It has never been done. Now, when we process it, for me to finish a kilo of parchment to that level, I finish it at 14,000. And then when I finish it at green, I am at 15,000. And I sell it at 20 and above, depending on which market I'm selling. Now, when I go to the value added with the all the processes included, a kilo is at 50,000.
Challenges are a necessary evil in life. Most farmers have faced quite a number of these. Martin here is not an exceptional.
The biggest challenge I first got was when I came with the ideology of making coffee in a central place, because everybody knew that they do their individual coffee. But when we did the tests, those coffee had inconsistencies. So we had decided to do coffee in a central place, prepare under one operation. And to make farmers agree to that was a challenge. Because in Bugisu, people are so individualistic. They are very independent. To woo them that we are going to do this, but after testing the price and the price we are getting there. So what we are doing is to train farmers to produce coffee and to know that this is a work that they should be passionate about. And also the challenge is in Bugisu, from the month of October to February, they are called bright days. When the coffee is at its peak, it is a time for harvest. And normally when we're growing up, most people will say, I'll beat you and pay you, because they had money in the pocket. So, but when it comes to March and the following month, the people are too poor. So so that was a very big challenge. But what we've done is now to help people, to help our farmers that we've there, to spread their income across the year, so that they are not spending all the money they get in harvest during harvest, but spread the money across the season. So that was one of the biggest challenges. Two, the working capital. Coffee is seasonal, and I needed to have coffee throughout the year. So to have coffee in our stock, to produce enough coffee that would take us a whole year, is the biggest challenge I've ever got. And everyone who wants to give us money wants to make us slaves. That is not like the ideology I say, because someone told me at one point, says the one who has the gold is the boss. So our biggest challenge is actually capital. Among the other challenges is infrastructure. Getting from Mbale, where I live, and where I connect the world to my disconnected village is a challenge. The road is impassable. When the heavens open like they have now, the probabilities of getting to my village, to the farmers, is zero. Though I was taught in mathematics that the probability should always be, but the probability of getting to my village is zero. And also, the biggest issue is how to keep coffee clean out of the molds, because molds are very bad. They spoil the cup. And so during coffee harvest is the heaviest rain. We have every opening is open, so the rain comes when it wants. And to have our coffee prepared well, we need greenhouses. So the other factor still goes back to capital. Then the other big challenge, bad competitors, and that is not a scare. This is not a challenge really that we should get worried about. I think we should be bold to stand against such, and that is what we're training the people of Masira, that they are able to produce the best coffee, they are able to market their coffee. And if you have something good, people come to you. I think I like my teacher told me a few years ago and say, people buy you, they don't buy what you're selling.
Martin and his team are starting to bring back the organic practices they were taught by their forefathers, because it has proved formidable in maintaining soil quality.
Actually, we were taught from a younger age the seed berry borers and the other things that they buy the coffee. We were told by our parents they used to use ash, pepper, and mix a number of namsuja. There are certain leaves that they would mix and use to spray and kill those. But when they turned to using fertilizers, most of their coffee became a problem. Now people have gone back to the original method of preserving their coffee, and it works better. If you look at our documentation that we're doing, we are encouraging people to use more of organic, do mulching, and like what I maybe I forgot to tell you is that among the farmers, though we have trained the entire farmers, we have trained, skilled, documented 420 farmers how to do organic practices, and we've been audited. 107 of them have been audited by EcoCert to be certified organic. I guess we are likely to get our certificate maybe this month probably, and but our target is to document, train, and know each and every farmer in Masira, so that we know that so and so has 5,000 trees, but he can only look after 1,000. How can we improve that he makes all of them unique? So that is what we're doing, and that's where we are heading.
He also has bigger plans to continue training the community for a better society.
One of the biggest achievements I would celebrate, and even if I go to the grave now, I have brought light to my community. It was a darker community that no one was. Actually, people used to call us people from the Madodoa, which means people from the smoke area. The wood we used were smoke. That's what we only knew. And education was as difficult. I can tell you personally, I sat for primary living education in 1986 when the president came into power. And until 1990 is when I went to secondary school. That is because the money, people to earn money was as difficult as it is. Today, I have built schools. I have 2 schools, and since I started schools in 2010, I have 1,200 children gone through secondary school. That is, I think that's a celebration. I have sponsored about 180 children. I pay school fees through what I do, and the other day, one of our own was elected the general secretary of East Africa Student Council from the community that was once nothing. A number of them are beginning to graduate. Last May, we had the first female nurse graduate from our community, which has never happened. So I am trying to pack now and the people are finding it easy. The other time we had actually the biggest is that people are now competing to take their children to Mukono, Wakiso schools from that community, from the coffee production. So that is unique. Above all, I have my family, my own family. I come from the hunters family. And when I was growing up, actually one of our residents told me, let these ones grow up, we'll beat them when they steal our things. So people viewed us as people who go nowhere and who work for others. But actually through these little works of putting together, our family is absolutely different. And many other families that had no hope of ever changing a community. In a few years, about 3 years ago, one of our sponsored child was the first, after 30 years, sitting for primary 7 in a certain family. And the man came and says, thank you for helping our family to sit a child after 30 years in primary. These are very simple and small doings, but they make a lot of impact.
That's it for this episode of Seeds of Gold. We thank very much the men and women who tirelessly till the land to feed the world. Next week on the show,
Like here, there are some branches which have dried up, the buds. So this one you can just remove to allow more production and in a better way. All this we are doing to see that we come up with good quality coffee. Quality, you have to do all those agronomic practices and post-harvest handling. They must be done.